Did you want to have an abortion?
No, I didn't.
But you felt like you had to.
Yeah, I felt like I had to.
Didn't have any choices.
No, I didn't feel like I had any choices. And I felt like if I didn't want to bear, it's funny because I didn't want to bear the shame. I wasn't thinking of the shame that I would feel after having the abortion, but I didn't want to bear the shame of being a single mom again.
But you weren't a single
but
mom.
I wasn't a single mother, right?
Well, you were not married.
But I wasn't married, but so in my mind, I was ashamed of that, of, here I am going to have another one. We're still not married. How did you get yourself into this situation again? That type of thinking. But I didn't think about the shame I would feel after having the abortion, dealing with that. I just thought about right then and there and what that would look like if I had another baby.
I rarely think that babies actually bring shame with them, do they?
No, they don't. And
I think pregnancies do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure that babies bring shame with them. I think they bring joy mostly.
They do.
They bring struggle,
right?
But they also bring mostly joy.
And that was the lie of the situation, right? And that's why, had I had something like the Pregnancy Care Center or someone like Linda or just more counselors surrounding me, I would have been able to talk that through and realize, wait a minute, that's not true. This is not true, and go through the truth of the matter and know that there's options. I'm not the only person. Children don't bring that shame and that embarrassment that I thought I would feel. That's a lie. My family would still accept me. They would still come along and help me. No one's gonna run away and disappear because I'm having another baby. Do you know what I mean? I would have that support, but because I was alone and we were alone and we didn't share it with anybody, that was the way that we handled it.
So how did the final decision come about? Like, what did you talk about it?
I think I just took all the steps. We didn't really discuss anything, and I just found out where I needed to go. I spoke to the doctor. I made the appointment. I booked the day, and he I just filled him in along the way. There was no, real discussion about it. I just did it. I just did what I had to do, and I just, every step of the way, I kind of just took control, and then I just filled him in, and then we just kind of came up with a plan of how we're gonna, execute it without being found out, because we still didn't tell anybody that I was pregnant. So, that the final decision there was no discussion. It was just like, keep moving.
So you said you stuffed it way down.
Yeah.
Buried it. When did you unpack it?
When I went to the Pregnancy Care Center, which was 10 or 11 years later. Yeah. So it was sitting there all that time, but it wasn't until I came across the Pregnancy Care Center and met Linda and another lady, Michelle, that was working there at the time. And that's when I finally, unpacked it. And I thought it was okay until I went to the center. And then I realized, you're not really okay. And you still haven't dealt with this. And I think I knew I hadn't dealt with it because anytime anyone brought up the topic of abortion or the subject of abortion or anything like that, I would cringe inside. And I would feel so ashamed, and I want them to just, move quickly off the topic. I never wanted to discuss it, or I never chimed in the conversation. I would just sit quiet. And so I knew that there was stuff still, that I needed to deal with, but I never dealt with it, and I didn't know how. But then when I went to the Pregnancy Care Center, that's when things started to, the layers started to come off, and I really took a good look at the abortion.
We want to provide compassionate support to those that are really struggling. We get it, that there are some unintended issues that come up after an abortion. But, and many of the women that were participants in that group and found that they could come to a resolution with both the guilt and the grieving following the abortion. We're like, and we're so grateful for women like Janice. We just love her. And just now that she is a volunteer serving others because she gets it. She knows what it's like to feel scared, knows what it's like to feel overwhelmed. even knows what it's like to be in a situation where you feel like abortion sometimes even feels like the only option, even though at a value level that was not something that Janice wanted. And for myself, some of the worst calls that I get is from somebody that says, I really regret having this abortion. I only wish that I knew that there was an organization that would have helped me when I was there. I felt so alone. I felt like I didn't want to have that abortion, but I saw no other way out, and I was so panicked in it. Why didn't I know that there was help? So I'm really grateful that Janice is so authentic, willing to be honest, and share her story, because I think that that's a help to other people that may feel may be in similar situation.
And what were his emotions? What would he say?
I think he felt the same things that I was feeling. Like he admits that he was scared at the time, that he didn't really want to do it either. But we both kind of, like Linda said, you feel like that's your only option on dealing with the situation. And I can imagine, like, I'm not a man, but I can imagine it might be hard for some, men. Sometimes as women, we might just think they don't care. But I think for some men, they're seeing in a bigger picture is like, how can I support this family? Am I emotionally able to support this family, financially able to support this family? And I know for him, I think that was one of his big issues. He wanted to really be able to take care of us, and didn't feel like, being 20, 21, that he was going to be able to do that. And I think that was a big fear of his, and he didn't want that. And so I don't think he necessarily was just like, I just don't want to have another baby with you. And sometimes we just think men just are not emotionally invested as we are, but there's a lot that they don't say to us that they're experiencing and feeling themselves. And so I think he held back a lot of his feelings about it as well. But I know it. He was not happy. I know that it tore him up inside as well to see me go through that as well. So.
A few years ago, that's why we decided to include men in our support program. We knew that we wanted to provide that safe place, confidential place for anyone facing the unexpected pregnancy. But we really wanted to encourage the couple to come in together if possible, and particularly men. And we, they weren't there just as a support for the women in life, but they came in, and we wanted to acknowledge that they have a perspective. They are looking at things, and want to ask them those questions. What do you think should happen? How are you feeling about this? What are your concerns? And they'd often say, oh, well, I'm just here to support her. And then I would ask her, well, wouldn't it be helpful for you to know what your partner thinks? And she would say, absolutely. My decision oftentimes is very much connected to the level of support that she feels like she's going to get from her partner. And then when we started hearing men being able to communicate that, they were able to express some of the concerns that they have. And we were able to say, well, we've actually got a network of men that can meet with men and help them, with the financial piece in terms of looking for jobs, looking for affordable housing, looking for, or even understanding how to support a partner through pregnancy, because that's a whole new experience. We really do want to let people know that they don't have to be alone. That was one of the reasons why the Pregnancy Care Center started, so that there wouldn't be unwanted abortions, so that people wouldn't feel like they wouldn't be seeing abortion as their only option, and that they could get the resources, the people around them, to help them thrive, help their family thrive, and that providing supportive community as well. So we know we can't do it alone, but being able to get connected, not just to resources during the pregnancy, but getting connected to community support, so that we belong and we can, nobody's life, unplanned doesn't mean unloved, right?
Exactly.
Unplanned,
For sure.
unplanned
For sure.
doesn't mean that things, there's so many life issues that are, so many things in life that we can't control, we don't know, but the outcomes have a lot to do with how we respond to them. And being able to share that with a bigger community or getting connected
Sure.
is so much more joy-filled because the unexpected pregnancy is
Hang on,
brought.
so let me say, if you're listening to this right now and you want to reach out to the Pregnancy Care Center and talk to people like Linda and Janice, there'll be a ticker across the screen. You can call that number, and there's support out there for you. So if you're in the situation that Janice was in, feel free to contact the Pregnancy Care Center. There's 100% discretion, privacy,
Free and confidential.
and it's not judgmental. This is not a debate about anything. It's a place for women and their partners to come and find support and to talk things through and to really help you make a decision that is the best for you. So don't be afraid to call if you're listening to this now. All right. Thanks for coming on, Janice.
Oh, my pleasure.